So I would say you and I are in training. And it's not quite as idle a training as one might like it if one says, well, we have infinite reincarnations. It is true on the spiritual level that if this earth goes under because of radioactivity, you just wait 275,000 years, and then at some point, some amoeba will fly in from somewhere else, and the whole game will start again, and in a couple of billion years here we'll be again. And out there's no time, so what difference does it make? It's just a blink of an eye anyway. That's the world of India, which lives with the yugas and the kalpas of time. And after all of the 4 seasons, the Sat Yuga, the Dwat Yuga, the Tret Yuga, the Kali Yuga, or the Tret Dwat, then Shiva, who's been sitting in meditation, creating the whole universe out of his mind, stands up and dances the pralaya, and the whole thing dissolves in one huge mushroom blast back into itself, into the formless, and then he sits down and creates it all again. You can jump to that level of time. I do it often, because that's also true. The truth is, whether we solve the problems of environment, violence, breakdown of social structures in a harmonious or disharmonious way, at one level is just a curious phenomenon. From yugas and kalpas and reincarnation and other time dimensions, it's hardly a flick of an eye. But you and I also are on Earth at this moment in bodies and have a curriculum, and that curriculum has to do with doing as our hearts dictate, doing what we can to relieve suffering. And ultimately, what we can do to relieve suffering is be that which is able to be in the presence of suffering without creating more suffering. It's like learning to keep your eyes open in hell. Just looking at just what is and not going under into, oh my God, oh, I wish it hadn't, oh. To the extent you hold a model of how it used to be or how you wish it were that prevents you from seeing what is, better luck next life, because you're in for a lot of suffering. Because the suffering is the clinging of the mind, the not looking at what is. And out of what is, what do you say? There was this beautiful saint in India, in the mountains, who died, I think, early 1900s. And he was a great, wise being of vast vision and power, a lot of siddhis of powers. And he said, it was, if he was in reverie, he said, there'll come a time when you walk 5 miles and you'll see a firelight and you'll be so happy to know another human being exists. See, that's such a tasty image to work with for consciousness. For a personality, it's a drag. Oh my God, that sounds terrible. Oh God, well, at least I won't be around. Oh, but gee, oh God, that means, ugh. That's personality. That's a psychodynamic entity, suffering like hell, holding on to who I am. But that isn't who you are, fortunately, so you can relax. It's who you're manifesting as, but who you are is just no time, no space, no birth, no death, no coming, no going. No form. Nothing to do. All just phenomena occurring. Life, death, change, chaos. Here comes death. Again. You talk about the Peace Corps. That's what this is. We're talking about real training for a real Peace Corps. As I said yesterday, the Dalai Lama, who can say, I'm not angry with the Chinese because it isn't functional. It's Stephen's forgiveness. It's all that stuff. It's letting go. It's letting go. It's letting go. Here we are. letting go and listening to the deeper powers of the universe. It turns out that in our relation to the earth, we aren't the masters of the game like we thought we were. We're just part of the system. It's a major change. I grew up in being taught in science that we could manipulate the physical universe in such a way to make us happy. And I never remember the discussion of what it would do to the physical universe. You try getting away with a course like that in school now? Don't be silly. Everybody's just beginning to reckon. We're just beginning to recognize the relation to nature, which is not human over nature. Florence Kluckhohn had these three categories in anthropologists: human over nature, human in nature, human under nature. The nature gods that did us in all the time, that was human under nature. And science has been human over nature, and the Enlightenment ever since the 17th. In Brave New World, their mantra is, because they have built a society that was rooted in Henry Ford's philosophy. And their mantra is, Ford's in his flivver and all's well with the world. In which humans have been turned into happy consumers and producers. So that if the chaos doesn't get you, the organization will. That's what's such fun. There's no way to escape. And here we are. And it's all joyful. Try that one on. You laughing? Have you got a true guffaw in there for all this? As Wavy Gravy says, if you don't have a sense of humor, it just isn't funny. Some of you say, how can you laugh at a time like this? I was just feeling terrible about this. Milk it as long as you want. It's not going to make it any better for you just sitting around feeling terrible. That's a cheap high. Oh, I can't bear it. It's so terrible. Well, we'll wait. Because you got to bear it. You don't have any choice. So you're going to bear the unbearable before you're done. Either your own death or somebody you love or the whole system. It's very interesting to try to be conscious, isn't it? It's more fun than not being conscious, I'll tell you. But it takes a while to figure that out. It isn't as trippy. It isn't as trippy. Wow! And instead of, and that too, and that too, and that too, and here we are. Whew. Pretty heavy. Any adjective is just a joke. Heavy, light. You and I are in training to be free. We're in training to be so present, so spacious, so embracing into ourselves, not looking away, not denial, not closing our hearts because we can't bear it. The statement, I can't bear it, that's what burns you out in social action. The being in presence of suffering and contracting. The contraction starves you to death. When you close your heart down to protect yourself from the suffering, you can't stand it. Because what happens is you close off the being fed by the life situation. Because if you can stay open, the suffering and the joys and the stuff of life, all of it, it's like living spirit, and it just connects to your living spirit, and there's a tremendous feeding going on. You go to funerals and the grief, real grief, brings people so close together, and it gives them life experience where often they've been deadened into their minds and into their closed hearts. That's why trauma is so profound. It cuts through. A frightened person contracts. When they contract, they go into their minds. When their minds contract, they can't risk. It's a low risk strategy, so it's reiterating what they know in order to feel safe. And that judges everybody else as a threat to their safety if the fear is great enough. And everybody's them, and you're isolated, and you're very hungry. It's very lonely being that isolated. And the isolation has nothing to do with the social reality. It has to do with your own mind. And once you see all this, what else is there to do but keep working on becoming conscious? No big deal. Nobody's asking you for anything. You'd be a fool not to do it. You'd be a fool. It's just like you're going to perpetuate your own misery and suffering and everybody else's if you don't. So 1 year. 1 year. Make it clear what I'm asking. 1 year for you to be able to live in two planes of consciousness simultaneously. I'll settle for any two. Because the minute you've got any two, the whole thing's happened. Then you see, why those two? And the other thing is, do it joyfully. Do it joyfully. I mean, when you meet somebody that's suffering, what do you have to offer them? You could offer them your empathy. Oh, God, I just can't imagine how bad that suffering must be. That's a good thing to offer, because they feel somebody else is listening to them. The other thing you can offer them is your joy, is your presence, is you're not getting caught in it all. That combination of being empathetic means you're caught, means your heart is breaking, because you understand the intensity of their experience. And at the same moment, you are absolutely, equanimously present, not clinging to anything, just watching the phenomena of the universe change. Then your acts are compassionate. That is where the root of compassion is. The root of compassion is not empathy. That's kindness, and that's good. It's great. But it is not the ultimate compassion. The ultimate compassion is the act which has the potential to relieve every level of suffering. Not just the food in the belly or the mattress for the night. It relieves the suffering that comes from separateness. And the suffering that comes from separateness is only when you are present with another person, not when you are separately present. So the whole game of helping another human being, if you're busy being the helper, you make them the helpee, and you've just created suffering. Isn't that bizarre? With the very act of helping somebody. And then you jump out of that one and it's, who's helping anyway? What the hell? It's just, enough, Joy. It just seems that we touch moments where we feel deeply connected. Then a moment later, it's a new moment. And we want to cling to the experience. I invite you not to cling. I invite you to open to the next moment and let it have its own richness. There is a real problem when you have got a weekend as rich and thick as this one has been for all of us, to not try to hold on to the glow. Nothing will kill it faster than clinging. So we're going to do a final thing together, and afterwards we're going to go out into the universe, and suddenly we'll be in cars, on roads, in homes, cooking suppers, doing laundry, answering telephone calls, being charming, looking at television, reading the papers, responding to the calls of help around us, fighting with people. It's such a rich diet that faces us. How couldn't you be ecstatic at the opportunity? I invite you to look at your life just that way, as a most remarkable curriculum. When I was with Aldous Huxley years ago, I didn't know him well, but when we were together, there were just a few words he kept using. One was extraordinary. Another was, how curious. Another was, how odd. And I realized that everything in life is extraordinary if I just want to look. It's true, there's nothing new under the sun, and it's all fresh. I know there are many questions that are unanswered, and I can tell you that if you were to quiet your mind down, you would know exactly what the answer is as well as anybody else would. And if you still don't trust yourself, find anybody else and ask them the question. Because everybody is the goddess in drag. And if they say, oh, I don't know, say, well, look and find out. Because we have to help each other recognize who we truly are. Because we've had such a bum rap for so long. We have mea culpa'd our way through life. Poor schnook that I am. If only I could awaken and taste the beauty of the universe. Enough already. We are so busy not being awakened. It's a real addiction. We are abused. We've been closed down. But being mindful of it, it all dissolves before our very eye. Yes. What was the whole journey about? Whatever sufferings you're dealing with, whatever fears or anxieties, don't deny them. Don't get lost in them. Denial, invest them. Just go on, allowing them to continually be grist for the mill of your awakening.